Oh, yes. Week 15, Cushion Keg. Look at Keg. Look at this handsome man. Telly Savalas, years later, except with a mustache. What's going on, Kegger? What's happening here?
What's going on, buddy? Just a lot of running around this week.
Yeah.
Got a lot of things going on. I got Abby's athletic banquet at 6 o'clock. I'm frustrated with the NFL the last 2 weeks. But other than that, things are going okay.
Other than that, things are going okay. You're frustrated with the NFL, dude. It's up and down, and we were pretty good on Monday night. I think, yeah, we did very well on Monday, and overall, we're still up on the season. So that's the big thing. And if you're interested in signing up, let's go do that. Let me get this. We got the new overlay in here, so we got Nuke NFL. Here we go. Nuke the Holidays is the code. Nuke the Holidays. So go to nukethehouse.com, click subscribe. Any plan you sign up for, we're not going to charge you if you don't want to be charged after a week. Type in the code Nuke the Holidays. We'll give you the week. So you'll get the pre-flop plays this week. You get the Thursday night football. We got a Monday night doubleheader in the NFL. We got the full Sunday card. We got any fights coming up this weekend too?
Yep.
What?
Yep. UFC Tampa, I think. Colby Covington and Joaquin Buckley main event. We got some plays on the spreadsheet for the card already.
Okay, good. And then tonight, which is Wednesday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, NBA NHL live show. We'll bet some college basketball as well, talk some college football and NFL. So NBA NHL live show free right here on our YouTube channel, Nuke the House. Subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, big news just came down, buddy. Big news just came down. Belichick to UNC. A plethora of 18 to 24-year-old women for Bill Belichick. If I'm his girlfriend, I'm freaking out right now, dude. I'm really freaking out.
I heard that he wrote a 400-page manifesto on like the tiers of hiring and how he wanted the athletic department and recruiting. So, yeah, I mean, Bill's going to try to turn North Carolina into the Patriots. I can't wait to watch it.
That he just wants to go to college now. It really blows my mind. I can't believe it. I did not think that Belichick was going to college, but he is. He'll end his career there. You know what it is? He'll be the boss at Chapel Hill. Actually, Hubert Davis is going to be the boss, college basketball, and then Belichick. So
yeah, but if we start seeing them in the playoff, you know, things will change quick.
I mean, UNC's basketball school, dude. It's as simple as that. They're always going to be number one, but all the talk will be about Belichick. But a guy that went to Kansas, if Belichick went to Kansas, basketball would still be number one. That's just
football. Football's just better when he's in it.
Yeah, I like it. I like the guy. He's just a cranky old guy. And again, 24-year-old girlfriend, but there's going to be better looking women there than her. I mean, it's as simple as that. They're all going to want to get with him. So congrats, Bill. Let's get into this slate. This show, we break down the 1 and 4 o'clock slates in the NFL, and then we'll do Thursday night football at the end with the Rams and the Niners. But let's start with the Ravens and the Giants, number one on DraftKings. We'll use their odds. This thing got pushed up from 15 to 16. Ravens 16-point favorites on the road. DeVito is probably going to be the quarterback this week for the Giants. 42.5 is the total. The Giants, if you'll remember on Thanksgiving, they lost Dexter Lawrence, their best pass rusher. Now, they got to the quarterback a little bit against the Saints. This is a completely different animal. They have lost 8 games in a row. They have gone 0-7 at home. Do you remember the last time the Giants went winless at home in a season? Because I had no idea what it was. They didn't even play in New York. The year I was born, 1974, Keg. They played their home games at Yale.
Wow.
That's how horrible this team is. That being said, 16 points is a lot in the NFL. What do you see happening?
It's a lot. Yeah. I mean, this line moved about 2 points on the reopen, and then since then it's moved about another 1.5. It makes all the sense in the world. These two teams are on two totally different levels. One of them is a top 5 team in the league. The other one's a bottom 3 team in the league. I had the line going into last week at about 15.5 on a neutral. So I thought 14.5 was about right to me. So I couldn't lay it right now at 16. Ravens are coming in off the bye. Now Drew Lock is hurt. He's not going to play. Now they're going third string. I mean, there's just they have literally no chance to win this game.
Yeah.
They're going to get ran out of their own building. On top of that, they lost multiple starters on the offensive line in that game against the Saints last week. I know Runyon, their center, went down. So the Giants are in a world of hurt. The line's probably right, but I'm off it. If I was going to back Baltimore, I would probably back their first half and the full game team total. That's basically where I would be looking. They're good for 30 plus here. And then I guess props. Like I think as of right now, my favorite bet in the game is their first half team total over.
Ooh.
But I haven't bet it. I haven't pulled the trigger yet. I think the full game total is about right at 42.5. So that's a pass for me. And then obviously I'll dig into the props.
What are you waiting on as far as the first half team total for the Ravens?
It's just I've been getting screwed on team totals lately.
You know, it's funny. If you would have asked me how you're doing on team totals, I'd be like, we're totally up on the year.
Yeah, we are. Well, we are for sure.
Yeah.
The first 10 weeks were good. The last 2 to 3 weeks have not been good. So,
Time out. Let me just give Keg a pep talk here for a second, okay? Keg's a little down. So what happened earlier in this year? I think you had a couple rough months. This is 2 rough weeks, big deal. And what did I say to you? I believe in you. Keep going. Put your head down. Stop talking negatively. Keg, stop talking negatively. You're the best live bettor in the world. We're going to be freaking fine. And it's as simple as that. You're the best. Yeah. Stop it. I'm not even confident we're going to win money this week.
I'm not even down money. I'm not even down money in December.
Stop it. You're great.
I feel like I'm down 30 units. I don't like
All right. None of us are down. Well, I mean, if you're there are some idiots that are down, but none of us are down that actually follow the game plan, that come out there. Hey, we'll tail Keg and we'll win some money. Sometimes we're going to lose. More often than not, we're going to win money. So I don't want to hear it anymore.
All right. So stay tuned for more on this game. Whatever I bet, obviously, I'll give to the subs when I bet it.
If Keg doesn't win 15 plus units in a week, it's a loss. He's probably up like 2 units this week, and you think he's down.
That's exactly right. That's what I'm up. Yeah.
Tyler and I doing Nuke the props on Friday. Had another 2-in-1 week. Had some more winners this week.
Bro, you had a great call on Jamar Chase. That was your best call of the year.
Oh, yeah. It's about time. You know, he got up to 175. It was very, very close to being another bad call, but that was a good one. Nuke the props been doing well. I was going to go in on Juwan Jennings, longest reception, because the longest reception props have been paying off for me. Instead of going with the Westbrook Akine touchdown in yards, we went the over 18.5 longest receptions he hit. Jameson Williams hits that. We're going to start going after Nico Collins. I wanted to bet Juwan Jennings, but it's 23.5. So when we get to that game, maybe I'll remember to do that and talk about it. Like button would be wonderful. Let's do that. Next game. I know you like this next game, and this number got pushed from 6 to 7.5. Commanders 7.5 point favorites on the road. 6.5 is a lot better. I don't like 7.5, but the Saints are dreadful. 7.5 is the Saints are getting more than a touchdown at home. 43.5 total. What do you like about the Commanders this week? And what do you think about this line move, a point and a half?
I honestly know Derek Carr. I think this is going to be a slaughter. There was a 4-point adjustment on this line off the Carr news. Mm-hmm. And make no mistake, if Carr is out of the game, this is hands down the worst offense in football when you consider the quarterback, the weapons, and the offensive line. And it is not even close. And that's including Mac Jones right now in Jacksonville. Olave still isn't back. Shaheed still isn't back. Your running back is 400 years old. Your offensive line needs a ton of work. And now you may possibly be starting Jake Haener.
Oh, boy.
I mean, come on, dude. I don't think 4 points is a big enough adjustment. Now, there is a chance Marshawn Lattimore will be back for this game. But even if that's the case, the Commanders have a monumental advantage on the offensive side of the ball. I might be looking, I will be looking, not might be, I will be looking to target some players on Washington in this spot. And as disgusting as it is, because we didn't get paid out on Kamara last week, I don't know how you don't go back to him if Jay Kaner is going to be the quarterback. I just don't know how you don't. I can't get, unfortunately, if this line was still, the equivalent of 7 minus $1.20, which is basically what I gave out to our subs, 6.5 minus 130. I would give it out, but we can't. The line's moved. I wouldn't bet it now at 7.5, but I do think they're a touchdown better. I don't mind the first half either, and I will be on props. And one of them, unfortunately, is going to be Alvin Kamara, probably.
What do you mean, unfortunately? It's a great call because he's going to be the offense.
I know, but he's the one guy that every time Meyer and I bet him, we're on the wrong side of him. We can't get on the right side of this guy. It's unbelievable. So, but I have to go back to him. If Hayner's the guy, I have no choice but to go back to him. Okay. But I like Washington. If you were able to get the 6.5 or the 7, I like Washington a lot in this spot. I think this is going to be not remotely close.
Teaser?
Teaser? For sure.
Yeah.
They're definitely a teaser leg. Yeah.
We'll try and find another teaser leg then. Like button would be wonderful. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, it's right there. Nuke the House at YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications. And again, tonight, Wednesday night, if you're watching on Wednesday night, we've got the NBA NHL live show, me, Foxy, Zargo, and we've got a little college basketball, NCAA football talk too. So looking forward to it. Chiefs Browns is our next one. Okay, here we go. Chiefs 4-point favorites on the road in Cleveland. The total here is 44. The Chiefs just don't cover. The Chiefs just don't lose. So, Kegger, when we look at Kansas City at Cleveland, it's tough for me to think that the Chiefs are going to lose this game.
Luckiest team in the National Football League. It's not even close.
Are they going to win this game, though? Do they win outright at least?
Probably, because they'll somehow find a way. The line opened up like a half point lower than the look-ahead line when it reopened, and I get it, man. They escaped again. They could have 5 or 6 losses right now on the year, and it's just week after week they find a way despite playing horribly. I'm a big fan of the KC front 7, but that secondary is by far the biggest issue on this team, in my opinion. You have to think that Winston is going to have success against that secondary. And when you consider that and the weather looking like it's not going to be that bad, you see why this total is getting bet to the over, and that makes sense to me. Now, I think that KC has these games where they look night and day from like one half to the next. And unfortunately, that's what we saw last week. Up 13-0 at the half. Chargers score 14 unanswered in the third. Chiefs are basically fighting for their life the entire fourth quarter. Same old story for this year. It will bite them eventually. Is this the week? It could be. We know that Winston is going to throw a couple picks, but we also know he's probably going to throw 3 touchdowns. And at times, the Chiefs' offense, it just disappears. And they aren't going to be able to disappear on Sunday because I think the Browns have success throwing the football against them. Can't bet the over now, but probably still lean over even at that number. I had the line at 4.5 coming into last weekend's games. I have to adjust the PR, probably closer to 4 now, which is what this line is. So it feels about right. I'm going to lean, if you're betting this game, I would take the 4 at home. KC has just been too unreliably consistent for 60 minutes.
Yeah. Here's the issue, Keg. This thing was 6.5. This thing was 6.5 a couple days ago. And now it's down to 4.5.
Well, that's why I'm not buying. That's why I'm not betting it.
Just fade
it. That's why I'm not betting it. But if I had to lean away, I would still lean the Browns. I think if you're going to give me more than a field goal, KC just doesn't look good. They're an 8-5 team. That's 12-1. I mean, it's wild. So yeah, it's going to come down to the props market. If we want to make money in this game, that's where I'll be looking. But still lean over, even though the over's taking money. And I would still lean the Browns, even though I can't bet them.
That's fascinating, man. That really is. Maybe we could look at Pacheco and they drop his props. Noah Gray, Kelsey.
Yep, for sure. Yeah,
I mean,
I'll be
really,
involved.
There's just a lot to do there.
Jameis, this is going to be another Jameis going for 300. I think the only thing that stops him is if KC is locked in and we see those 8 and 9 minute drives where they just eat an entire quarter. That's entirely possible. But if that doesn't happen, I think Jameis is going to have himself a day. Yeah, I do.
By the way, I just want to say I really enjoy doing this show because it's deep dive breakdowns on a 1 and 4 o'clock slates. We'll get to the Thursday night slate or Thursday night game in a little bit. We will not break down Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football. We got a Sunday nighter and 2 Monday nighters this week. So we're back. Dolphins, Texans. Dolphins getting 3 on the road. I mean, here's another team. Houston, they haven't been impressive. I feel like their record is better than what they've played. The total here is 47. If you want to back the Dolphins, plus 20. You want to back the Texans, minus 142. Tua's in a groove, dude. Tyreek's starting to show up. Jonnu Smith showed up in overtime again. I like what I'm seeing out of Tua. So I wonder if maybe with this matchup, we want to look at him. But what's the breakdown here with the Texans laying 3 at home?
I agree with everything you just said. The Dolphins are starting to look like a normal football team again.
Yeah.
I think last week, Waddle and Hill both went for 100 yards. And I assume that might be the first time this year. I would have to check that, but that might be the first time this year that they both went for 100. Look ahead line was 2.5. When they reopened this number, there was basically no change. And where are we right now? So now we're up to 3. Okay. Yeah. So the Texans have taken about a half point. Now the Texans didn't play last week. They come in off the bye, and I am interested to see how they respond off the bye. They are 8-5 right now, in full control of the AFC West. But this team has real problems, specifically that offensive line. It's a big problem. And Joe Mixon carrying this team has been in spite of the offensive line and not because of it. They also come into the game losing 3 of the last 5. And with the exception of the Lions, they have no excuses for those other 2 losses. Do I think that they are the better football team than the Titans? I do. And were they able to get it done? They weren't. They're better also than the Jets, and they couldn't get it done. So they need to respond here at home with an inspired effort. And I think D'Amico Ryans feels like the kind of guy that will get them up for this game and ready to go. I think at a field goal or less, I have to lean towards the Texans because other than that offensive line and Tyreek Hill, they are a better football team, in my opinion, all the way around. I would take Stroud over Tua. I understand this year Tua looks better than Stroud, but I would still take Stroud over Tua. Nico Collins should have a day at home. If you look at CJ Stroud's home and road splits, he's a completely different quarterback at home than he is on the road. So I think Nico's in play. Stroud is in play. As far as the total, 46.5. Now you could probably still find a 46.5, but FanDuel's sitting at 47. That feels right to me. Slight lean to the over, although I'll probably pass. I looked at the team totals, and they both feel like they can get there. 22.5, I think, is attainable for Miami, and I think 24.5 is attainable for Houston. All that said, the only thing I'm targeting in this game right now, I'll probably be looking towards Collins and Stroud if the numbers are right, but I'm going to lean the Texans at a field goal or less.
So let me talk to you about 2 things. First of all, Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill opened this morning at 64.5. At BetMGM, he's up to 66.5.
Right.
At FanDuel, they opened him at 73.5, and he's down to 71.5. I think if you're going to get Tyreek Hill, and just like any of these props, you don't want to do knee-jerk reaction, but you're getting 5-6 yards of a better number right now than you're going to get at close on Tyreek Hill.
Oh,
so
yeah.
if you want to get in Hill, you do it right now. You do it right now.
Yeah. Let's be honest. If you want to get in on anybody,
I know
you do it right now.
But some guys get pushed higher than other guys, and Tyreek Hill is that guy. And I was looking at this: 7 of the 8 last number 1 wide receivers, the last 8 wide receivers that are number 1 on their team that the Texans have faced, 7 have gone over that number of 70 whatever and a half. Nico's number is open. It opened at 88 and a half.
Jesus Christ.
What do you do with that?
88 and a half?
Yeah. Yeah. You know what his longest reception is, which is I want to bet this so bad. Take a guess. Just take a guess.
24 and a half.
Nope. I mean, they put this 28 and a half.
Wow.
When do you see 28 and a half, dude?
That's wild.
And here's his longs, though. Here's his long. I'm just looking at his last 3. 33, 56, 40. How do you not bet the over when every game he has a play like that? This is going to be the toughest. That's going to be the toughest decision for me this week do I bet Nico Collins to get a 29-yard or more pass?
Listen, here's what I'll tell you right now. Here's what I can't do. I can't bet that number, and I can't bet him up to 100. But how I will probably get on him is his 40-50 long reception prop.
So we're going to ladder long receptions with him. Okay.
That's probably what I'll do, because I would think that actually, I don't even know. I could check that 365, but 40-50 is probably 50 will probably be for Nico.
3 to 1,
5 maybe
5,
450 maybe.
I don't even know. I don't think they're up at 365 yet, but please let me know if you find them. Like I did not see that at 28 this week.
Yeah, it's up.
It is. What is it?
Oh my God.
3 to 1. Like I said,
6 to 1 for 40, 12 to 1 for 50.
Whoa, hey now.
Yeah, so let's bet that now.
I got to figure out how to get on bet 365, but
go to Caesars.
Okay, I'll go to Caesars. So we're gonna bet the number.
I'm gonna probably bet. Oh no! I was looking at Jalen Waddle.
God damn it!
Okay, so his 40 is 280 and his 50 is 625.
Actually, that's not bad.
I thought I was gonna put my life savings on that 40 plus at 6 to 1.
Okay, well, we're not gonna do that. Yeah. So let me check Caesars real quick. This is so much fun. This is why I need to get in there. When are you and Adam meeting?
Normally it's Wednesday night for 4 hours, but it's going to be tomorrow afternoon because I have to go out tonight.
Oh, I'm crashing the party. Alt longest reception, Nico the Freako. 40 plus 240, 50, 550. No. That's not enough.
I haven't bet it yet.
That's not
enough. I was going to snap that. I mean, can Jalen Waddle get a 40-yard reception at 6 to 1?
Well, hold on. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, sure.
Tyreek is plus 425 for a 40
man.
For a 40-yarder.
Hold on. Don't tell him who's 100 plus is 250. Nico or Hill? It's got to be Hill, right?
Oh, it's definitely not Nico.
I mean, Nico's
if his number is 88 and a half.
You know what his 100 is?
What?
120 on Caesars.
Yeah, 140 at bet 365. I mean, what am I supposed to do with
They don't want us to bet it, so we'll move on. That's it. Hey, if you want to check out more of our NFL talk and our
Tyreek is 320, my guy.
Now that is something that I'm interested in. Although he only has 200-yard games, but he's coming off of one.
All right, let's get back to it.
Yeah, we'll get back to it. Okay. So you want this type of NFL information. We got game plans. Keg writes up 5-6 games that he absolutely loves. You get that behind a paywall. 1 o'clock live betting slate, 4 o'clock live betting slate. Sometimes we go behind the paywall even for our free shows. Fox has been on fire in NBA. He's killing it. Keg's fine. Don't worry about Keg. I think Coop had another nice Sunday this week. All our guys, they're just murdering. So sign up, $59.99 a month, or go to nukehouse.com, subscribe, use the 1 week free trial, Nuke the Holidays. Yes, Keg?
208 units isn't that bad, right?
And then here, all I hear from him is, "Oh man, I don't know. I'm not very good. I don't know what we're doing here. Why are we even in business? What are we doing? I'm only up 208 units. Oh God! Imagine being up 208 units and being like, shit."
Listen, man, that's a big pay cut from what I made last year. I made 340 last year.
There's still 3.5 weeks left. All you got to do is have another couple 20 unit days like you've had. You're right back in the mix.
That's it.
That's it. Bengals Titans. Okay. Joe Burrow. Is it 5 games in a row with 3 touchdown passes? Fox got me on that one. I'm probably going back to it again, Keg, depending on the number. The Titans are just abysmal. Well, let's face it. They are as bad as it gets in the NFL. Yeah, they picked up
that
some
defense, though, isn't terrible.
Rushing defense, right? Isn't it the rushing defense that's not terrible?
I could check their EPA real quick.
Yeah, I really thought that they're just horrible against the pass, no question. But again, you'll fix it up for us, and I'm confident in that. And in this game, we've got Cincinnati -5 on the road, 46.5 total. How do we back Cincinnati on the road? I mean, come on, man. This team's just no defense.
They are top 15 in both EPA per rush and pass.
I stand corrected. Burrow is still going nuts. And then on the other side, Calvin Ridley. Every week, Calvin Ridley. Just go back because the Bengals can't stop anybody, Keg. Let me go look up. We just got
kidding, bro.
Huh?
I said, you're not kidding, bro.
Let's go. Let's go, Ridley. He's not posted yet. Calvin Ridley's got to be in the mid 60s is where he needs to open this week.
I did not expect the Dallas Cowboys to take 1.5 points of money last week when they played this Bengals team. I figured that Cooper Rush being in the game was enough for the Bengals to take money. And I was wrong. If we're being honest, the Bengals had absolutely no business winning that football game. They were extremely fortunate to escape with the win. And it's primarily because the defense they can't stop a high school football team. The Bengals offense didn't look great either, aside from Jamar Chase, but that offense struggled at times against a very mediocre defense. And if it wasn't for a blocked punt and an eventual touchdown with 2 minutes left in the game, they don't even beat the Cowboys. Now, Burrow has been stellar all season, but he can't play defense too. Higgins was missing in action for you and I last week. I might go back to him. I can't see him having 2 games like that in a row. And you know what? Shout out Chase Brown. Clearly the number 3 option in the passing game right now. I'll definitely be looking towards him again if the numbers are still reasonable. Like I said, I don't know, man. On the other side of the field, the only thing you can count on is the defense for the Titans, and even that disappears at times. I think that their rookie QB had another game last week where he was sub 170 yards, and another game where the Titans offense ends with less than 300 yards of offense, which is a joke. And that only happened because Tony Pollard nuked and went for 100 plus. They just aren't reliably proficient in moving the ball on offense right now. And it makes the defense have to work overtime because they're on the field a lot. Now, saying all that, it's very hard for me to back aside in this game. Like, if the Cowboys game closed an expensive 4, I think that this game probably closes 4.5, 5.
Okay.
And that feels about right to me. But I cannot back this Bengals defense. So I'll be looking towards the prop market, side and total or a pass. I'm going to lean towards the Bengals and a slight lean towards the under, which is wild to say in a Bengals game. But I trust the Titans rookie quarterback less than I trust the Bengals defense. Aside from that, I will dig into the props.
So the only other thing here is that the Titans are 2-11 against the spread, worse than the NFL. And then there's the Bengals, who you just can't trust. So let's just get off the side. Get off the side. Don't even worry about the side in this game. Okay, next game. Like button would be great while you're waiting for us to break down the Jets and Jaguars. Brian Thomas Jr. continues to impress. Jags +3 at home. I mean, come on, man. The Jets are favored. Is the sharp money going back to the Jets this week? Please tell me no. 40.5 is the total. What a shit show this. I mean, do you want outside of Brian Thomas Jr. because I love this kid. I absolutely love him. Is there anybody else in this game you want to go to? I think Sauce is probably out. Breece Hall has a
yeah, I will
Breece Hall might be out. What do you think of Thomas, first of all?
Yeah, I don't mind Brian Thomas.
62.5.
I don't mind it. I have to really dig into like his logs to see exactly where he's at. But I mean, he's been pretty solid in terms of production this year. Will I be on players? I will. If Breece Hall is not playing, I don't know how you don't look towards Isaiah Davis and Braylon Allen. But I mean, this line basically opened exactly where the look ahead line was, give or take 10 cents. I expect we see what we see every week in the betting market, and that's the Jets just continuing to take money, especially off Aaron Rodgers' best game in years, where he finally goes for over 300 yards. Both Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams go over 100. So I would expect the Jets to definitely take money this week, especially against Mac Jones. I hate this team. I hate Mac Jones more, though. The Jags actually beat the Titans last week, 10-6 game. They had less than 300 yards total offense. Mac Jones, 0 touchdowns, 2 picks. It's just what he does. Now, he has to go up against one of the best secondaries in football. Okay. That's probably not going to work out. So once we get the Breece Hall news, I'll know where I'm at. But if he doesn't play, I will be looking towards Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis. It's gross, but I can only look towards the New York Jets here in this spot. I like the matchup of that defense against Mac Jones. Did the Jets defense get torched last week? They did. But, is Mac Jones Tua? He's not. So last I checked, are the Jets still 3? Yeah, they're still 3. I could lean towards the Jets. The total is pretty low at 40.5. But again, I can only look towards the under because I can't count on these teams to score points consistently. But I will be waiting for that Breece Hall news for sure.
Not enough likes, guys. Let's go. Smash it, smash it, smash it. Sign up, Nuke the House YouTube channel. Let's go with that. Just hit subscribe. Turn the notifications on so you know when we're on. Like tonight, free show, NBA, NHL, little college basketball, college football, NFL talk. We'll live bet college basketball too. And I think we already went 1-0 in that Baylor game on the over. So, Keg, this has been the wildest line move of the week. The Panthers were 1.5-point dogs 2 days ago. Right now, they're 3-point favorites at home against the Dallas Cowboys. Paltry total 43. I must say, the Panthers look like a completely different team since Bryce Young came back. He's competent. They're losing these one-score games late. Young does not look bad. I'm telling you now, Chuba Hubbard has just had a sensational season. Thielen is back. I got to go to Thielen this week. I'm upset I didn't pull the trigger. I got to go to Thielen. He is just eating in this offense right now. Back to Chuba. Expect full workload. Brooks hurt his ACL. Didn't tear it, but the rookie did hurt his ACL. So know that. This is a referendum on how bad the Cowboys are, Keg, that they are dogs to the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, I said last week that we needed to see Bryce Young play better than he has for the remainder of the season since coming back mid-year, and he's one step closer because, again, he showed up again against what many people believe is either the best team or second best team in the NFC right now. But unfortunately, they only scored 6 points in the second half of that game, despite an inspired effort from that defense. On the flip side, the Cowboys have also looked better lately. They rallied around Cooper Rush, and since that Commanders game, they've turned a switch, man. They had no business losing that game last week to the Bengals. They should be rolling into this week, winners of 3 straight. But that punt ended up getting them. On top of that, they lose a key piece on the defense for like a year. And they have to go on the road against a team that's really trying to turn a corner. You can make the argument that you're getting a discount on the line for Dallas because they should have won that game and they were graded as a loss in the market. Now that's a fair point, but I can only look towards Carolina in this spot at home. That stadium wants this kid to be better than he wants to be.
Yeah.
They're going to be loud. If Young plays the way he has the last 3 weeks, they win this game. If he doesn't, they could lose this game. So lean Panthers, lean over 43. I think that's a little low with what these two offenses have shown the last 3 weeks. Aside from that, I'll be digging into the props, but definitely I'll be looking towards Chuba with Brooks out. And I'm interested to see what they set that Young line at. Is it out yet?
Let me find it out. Oh boy. Let's see. Which one do you want? You want yards? You want
yards? 204.5. That's
everywhere,
low.
204.5.
That's pretty low.
Yeah, it is. And then if you look at what Bryce Young, I mean, you're going to have to hold your nose because nobody wants to back Bryce Young, but
yeah, of course.
263, 298, and 191 in his last 3. And then, 171, 126. He had those 2 big games. The overtime game against Tampa Bay, where we got burned by the Chuba fumble in overtime. We were 2 yards away from hitting like a 6-1 or something like that. And then 263 against the Chiefs. You just got to wonder, is he going to throw enough?
Chuba's number's 82.5. Yeah. That's pretty high.
Yeah. And Chuba's number rush receive is 98.5. So that's just a lot.
Yeah, everything is juiced 15 weeks into the year.
Oh, Brooks actually tore it. I thought it was just an ACL sprain. Okay, well, good night. If he's out, Chuba gets all of the work. So what do you get when you sign up for Nuke the House? You get a lot. You get the most live shows anywhere, right? Live betting shows, 25 plus hours. I feel like we do a lot more because now we're doing NBA, NHL shows, NBA shows, live shows, Tuesday, Wednesday night. Didn't do it yesterday with the 2-game slate. We'll do it with the 2-game slate tonight. Fox will take care of NBA. Zargo will take care of NHL. I will take care of hosting, and we'll all just BS for about 3 hours, win some money, and then probably get into the bowl talk, the bowl games, because we're 3 days away from bowl season officially starting. And then we'll look at some NFL lines as well. So tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern, 7 Eastern, NBA, NHL. But you just get so much pre-flop plays. You get everything you could ever imagine and more. So nukethehouse.com, $59.99 a month. Want to try us out for a week? Use the code Nuke the Holidays. Nuke the Holidays. Buy it for a friend. Keg, buy it for a friend.
Sure.
Get him a $59.99 a month. Get him a yearly package. $5.99. You don't know what your friend wants. Maybe what your dad wants. Besides,
it could end up being worth thousands.
It could be. Yeah. Say, hey, old man, you're 80 years old. You're drooling on yourself. I bought you a 1-month subscription. Figure out how to do this. Nuke the Holidays if you want to try us out for a week. 5 4 o'clock games this week. And they all start at 4:25. So Colts, Broncos, huge playoff implications in this game. Broncos 4-point favorites at home. It is going to be gorgeous here. Mid-50s, beautiful weather expected for this game. Lower total, 44 is the total. Broncos coming off the bye. Josh Downs could be back in this game, which would be big for the Colts. But I don't know about getting to 44 points this week, my friend. What I do know is that, again, we're going to find out if the Broncos are for real. And if they win this game, their chances of winning that 7th spot for the playoffs, astronomical. Like they're almost guaranteed because this is the team chasing them down, bud.
I kind of think that this game sets up well for offense.
Really? Well, I'll take your word over mine. Talk to me. Why?
My power ratings would have had this game at 3.5 going into last week. I have to do them for this week, but I think at worst, I probably have this line Broncos -4, and that's where they are. I do think the game sets up well for offense. The Colts front seven rarely gets the right amount of pressure on a team, and I think that Knicks is going to have all day to throw the football in this spot. The majority they don't blitz a ton. The majority of the time, they only rush four. Now, I say that knowing full well that it's been hard this year to take the top off the Colts defense against that secondary of the Colts because they, like I just said, they rarely blitz people, but you can get those open windows between those linebackers and safeties all the time. And I really believe that Knicks is not going to feel a ton of pressure in this spot. And there's a good shot that I'm going back to Vele off that bad performance last week. I think it was an outlier. And I think that Knicks probably will be slinging it and looking for him. On the flip side, the Colts are in a tough spot against obviously a solid defense. I expect nothing out of Anthony Richardson like I do most weeks.
Huh.
But you have been able to run the football against the Broncos when you're dedicated to it. The question is, will Steichen be dedicated to it? It's a wait and see, but I can see Jonathan Taylor having a pretty solid day. And I can see Bo Nix having a pretty solid day.
Can I tell you something real quick?
Yeah.
Since week 8, Colts have had a 32% success rate on rushing plays, lowest in the league. Denver, 66% success rate in defending the run. So we kind of got two teams going opposite directions. Okay, I'm just throwing it out there at you.
Well, I'm not betting this game anyway. I'm just trying to give you my
screw it. Let's just move on then. What are we doing?
Not,
we just wasted 5 minutes on a game. You don't even give a shit.
I'm not betting the side or total in this game. So yeah,
all right.
I'll be looking at props.
Will you tell me if we're interested in the Steelers and the Eagles?
This is a tough game, bro.
Well, Maddie threw a play out already.
This is a tough game.
Okay.
I haven't done my power ratings yet, but when I first saw this line, it felt aggressive. So I went back and I checked what the line would have been on last week's PR. I would have had this game at 6, actually.
It's 5.5.
Yeah. So while I initially thought that the line was wide, it's pretty close. We have no news on Pickens. Do we? Yeah.
I mean, it's not looking good now. Last week I said he talked to the media and he was out, but it's not, as of right now, it is not looking good for George Pickens. And that's bad because this team, no Pickens today in practice. So, I mean, this is going to be a game where I don't think they're going to have.
See, I think they really need, I think in order for them to have a chance to win this game,
yeah,
they really need Pickens to be able to have the threat of taking the top off that defense. Because if they don't, it's going to be very hard, I think, for Najee and Warren to have success. And it's going to be even harder for Russell Wilson, I think, to have success. But all that said, the Eagles, they looked awful last week. Don't get me wrong. Bryce Young looks different the last 3 weeks, far better, far more consistent. But I mean, come on, man. Like, if you want to be perceived as the best team in the NFC, you cannot look like that against that squad. You have to put teams like that to bed and early, and they weren't capable. So I have my concerns with that defense for the Eagles. And, make no mistake, the Eagles offense was struggling at times against Carolina. Now, they play a legitimate top 3 defense with the best defensive player in the world on the team. It's going to be a struggle for Philly to get theirs in this game as well. On top of that, all reports are the relationship between A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts is completely cooked over. They hate each other, according to multiple insiders. Now, they can't afford that bullshit against a defense like Pittsburgh. They need to be locked in and in sync from the door if they want to win the game. Now, like Maddie says, the squeaky wheel in the NFL a lot of the times gets the oil in this league. So could they have a come to Jesus moment? And it's a potential spot where A.J. Brown just nukes because Hurts wants to get him involved, I guess. But Jalen Hurts, for all the numbers that he is putting up, he just hasn't played good football this year to me. he makes so many bonehead, dumb, idiotic mistakes. So I'm definitely off Saquon props. As a matter of fact, I lean under on his props this week. It's very hard to hit the button on a Saquon under, obviously. But if I had to lean, I would think he goes under. Could he easily still get there because he's a freak? I guess. But after watching Bryce Young cook that defense in the second half, and if Pickens played, I would take Pittsburgh +5, 100%.
So here's the deal. Last week in game, and I don't know if Maddie got me on it or if I just got on it. Mike Williams. I know it's uncomfortable. And Pickens is out. He took Pickens' role. And yes, he only caught 3 for 36. I know, but this could be a Charbonnet situation. So last week on Friday on the prop show, Tyler's like, dude, just bet Charbonnet now at 15.5. Even if Kenny Walker plays, get 15.5. I don't think that, if Pickens does play, I think Williams is in a lot of trouble. But when Pickens is announced out, that 20.5 that you're getting at BetMGM, that's gone.
He's just so much worse of a player.
I know, but that number, man, he had 3 for 36 last week, I think, 3 for 36.
I mean, I will probably go back to Jaylen Warren receiving and maybe Freiermuth again.
Did Pat get us there last week, Freiermuth?
I
don't remember.
I have to check.
He had 3 for 48, so he must have gotten us there. He must have.
Yeah, he got over. He must have got over his number.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think you could look towards him, Jaylen Warren in the passing game. But man, it's impossible to pick Pittsburgh if Pickens isn't going to play. But I will say, if Pickens was playing in this game, I probably would have bet the 5. I probably would have took the 5. But since he's not, I'm going to lay off. The total feels dead on the number where it is right now. So it's a pass for me. But yeah, I'll be looking towards guys for Pittsburgh if Pickens is a no-go. If he does end up playing, I might end up on Pittsburgh.
And again, if you're a subscriber, go in the in-game chat because Matty already posted a play for this one. So every week he's got Steelers bets, and every week, except for one that I remember, like not last week, the week before, they just seem to cash, man. They just seem to cash. So if you want to get that playing more, sign up, nukethehouse.com, $59.99. Nuke the Holidays is the code for a 1-week free trial. Bills Lions. This is the sexiest game of the week.
By a mile.
Bills plus 2.5 on the road. 54.5 is the total. Like, how is this not just a bonanza for greatness? I got to go look up Jameson Williams' longest reception because that's just an auto bet at this point. It's amazing how many times this guy just kills it. And you know what? He's not listed yet. So that's unfortunate. Anyways, I'm just going to let you break it down because it kind of speaks for itself. 2.5, and then you got a big total.
Yeah, I mean, it's the game of the week by a mile. Listen, going into last week, I had 4 teams tied at 7 points better than an average football team, and that was the Lions, the Eagles, Baltimore, and the Bills. So if you adjust 2.5 points for home field, which is aggressive in 2024, but they have that kind of edge in Detroit. This line is dead on the money at 2.5.
Okay.
So, I can't bet a side either way. My gut leans towards Buffalo getting the job done on the road.
Okay.
But I can't bet the side. The total, I mean, the final score of this game could be 45-41. It could be literally be a repeat of what we saw with the Rams and Buffalo last week. That would not shock me at all. So this has to be the highest total of the year, right? 54.5. Have we had a total
higher
than
there? It's right there. Hold on.
I mean, I could only lean over. As gross as it is, they have to score 55. I mean, I feel pretty confident that the final score of this game, at a minimum, is 28-27 or 31-28. I think we're going to see a lot of points. I'm really not sure what I'm going to do in terms of the props market yet. I'll be interested to see what the Detroit running backs come back at. And obviously, Kincaid is back. Who else is back? Somebody else. Oh, Keon Coleman is back for Buffalo. So it's going to be much harder to key on who to back in Buffalo. I think if I was going to back somebody on Buffalo, it would probably be Josh Allen, because now you have Amari Cooper, Keon Coleman, Kincaid, Knox, Cook, Shakir. Everybody's back now. So it's impossible to pick the one guy that's going to go off. I would probably just take Allen. And then on Detroit, I'll be looking towards the guys that we're normally looking at, as long as the numbers are not ridiculous. And that's pretty much where I'm at. I would say my favorite play would be the over.
I can't say that I can find this highest total. I do know that the Ravens laying 16 on the road is the biggest spread this season. So that game is just, come on, man. We're going to be so invested. I'm telling you right now, we're going to be extraordinarily invested in the props market and maybe the total. I'm very excited for this game.
What do you think they put Montgomery and Gibbs at?
No idea. Probably in the upper 60s for Gibbs, right? Maybe even low 70s at this point.
Yeah, he's been low 70s.
Oh, here, I got it for you right now. 63.5. I think that's a bet.
Where?
BetMGM.
Are they the only people open? DK's not open yet.
No. BetMGM, dude. 63.5. There's no way you're getting a better number there than that.
How do you know that?
How do I know what?
How do you know that? What if FanDuel opened 62.5?
I don't think they're going to do it. Montgomery's 56.5. Because by the time these come out, they're going to, the other books are going to look and say, oh, look at a 63.5 is up to 65.5 after 5 minutes. Come on, man.
Come on. You're telling me about the line movement?
Come on, man. How many times we get in Jahmyr Gibbs at 63.5?
I know that's low for sure. That what compared to what
You're telling me.
the only reason I could think why that is because they know how good of an offense Buffalo is, and Buffalo is going to have the ball a lot in this game. So is Detroit, but Buffalo is going to have the ball a lot, and that's probably why that number is where it's at. That's lower than I thought it was going to be, though. So that's good news.
He's gone over that in every game but 2 this year.
What's Montgomery's number?
56.5.
What's Josh Allen, like 250 ish?
Oh, for passing, his rushing is 33.5. Let me see here. Passing yards, 258. 250 at FanDuel. That's an 8-yard difference. Holy shit. That's a big difference, Keg. He goes, you're telling me how to do the odds? Maybe he's right. Maybe FanDuel does list Gibbs lower.
I mean, to hear you tell me about line movement, it's not what I expected today, but okay. Bet 365 opened 63.5 and 56.5 too.
Yeah, well, Clunan, you can say I'm sharp as fuck. I need to start tracking my plays before I can say that. So I'm the only one here that doesn't. The rest of the guys are amazing bettors. And like button to be wonderful. Thank you, Kevin. Though I appreciate that. And then make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Nuke the House. We got a couple more games: Patriots, Cardinals, Bucks, Chargers, and then Thursday Night Football. Let's start with Patriots, Cardinals. Again, shout out to Bill Belichick. He's just going to be crushing sorority girls at UNC. What a great hire. And he gets everything he wants. He gets to run a town. He gets to run girls. He's amazing.
He gets to run girls.
Jeez. Oh yeah, he's just gonna run right through them. Like next. All
right. So,
anyways, here's the line: Patriots +6 on the road, 46 total. The Cardinals are not playing good football, Keg.
Yeah, they're trending in the wrong direction. While I felt like they were improving week to week up until about a month ago, they've taken a step backwards, and the defense has looked worse by the week. Add in the fact that their dreams have basically been crushed and the season basically ended with 2 losses to Seattle in 3 weeks. And I just don't know how they get up for this game. What's the line right now? The line was 7 on Sunday night, I believe.
6.
Yeah, I probably should have pressed the button on the Pats at 7. At 6, it becomes a harder call to make. But if I was betting the side in this game, I would only be looking towards the Patriots. It's gross because they're terrible, but definitely that's the way I would lean. I have my doubts in terms of motivation for this Cardinals game, and I don't feel like we have that problem with New England right now that has a quarterback that's trying to build a foundation for next year, a coach trying to prove himself. Like if this line goes back the other way, I'm probably betting the Patriots. If it doesn't, I'll be digging into the props market to see what we can see. The total, is it still 46.5?
46 and a half.
Yeah, that feels about right to me. My model has the game 46.2. So that's a pass for me there. If I had to lean one way, though, it would be a slight lean towards the over, but I'm not running to the window to bet it. I'll be interested to see what the number is on May and on McBride. But for now, it's a wait and see game.
Bucks Chargers, 2.5 is the line. Bucks getting 2.5 on the road. 45.5 is the total. This thing isn't gonna get to 3, is it? Like it's just gonna sit here. I feel like you tell me about the odds movement here, Keg, but I don't see this thing moving very much at this point. Do you? I mean, look here. We do have. It's 3 at FanDuel. It's 2.5 everywhere else. It's going between 2.5 and 3. So, if you get 3 on Tampa Bay, do you just take it?
That I definitely lean that way. I mean, Disley went down for the Chargers. McConkey's been banged up for weeks, but I would be very surprised if he doesn't play now that Disley went down. LA could have easily won that game against KC had they played football in the first half and didn't go into the break down 13-0. But that defense continues to be strong for Harbaugh, and the offense continues to be inconsistent. That's been the story for this team this year, and it was the story again last week. They have the benefit of Antoine Winfield going down for the Bucks, so that should help the passing game for Herbert. But the truth is, he just doesn't have any weapons outside of McConkey, and if you can game plan that kid out of the game or even slow him down remotely, they're in real trouble. And on the flip side, the Bucks O has been stellar. They've only had one game this year where they have not won or lost, where they haven't scored 20 points in a game. Wow. They've hung 30 in 6 games this year. They've hung 26 or more in 8 games this year. You are going to have to score a ton of points to beat Tampa Bay. And LA and their offense is just too inconsistent, in my opinion, to be the right side here. The O is struggling because Herbert is throwing the guys like Quentin Johnston and Josh Palmer, although I do like Palmer. He's been MIA this year. So Herbert really needs one more weapon like McConkey, I think, to put them over the top, and one more piece on the offensive line. And then I think this team's in much better shape. Definitely at FanDuel, lean the Bucks +3. I'm actually close to hitting the button. I might hit the button. I have to think on it a little more. But although slight lean to the over, but if I was going to get involved with the total, I would just take the Bucks team total over, because they've proven this year that they come to score. Aside from that, I'll be digging into the props.
Let's do Thursday Night Football. By the way, you want to drop your best bet in the chat? Let's go. Or if you want to be like Anthony Allen, say, does anybody randomly forget the Cardinals are an NFL team? No, I know they're there. We know they're there, Keg. But why don't you sign up? Come on, tonight. Do it right now. NBA, NHL Live show is free. We'll do that tonight with Fox, Argo, and myself. Thursday night show is free too, but you'll get all the pre-flop plays from Keg and the boys behind the paywall. And then Sunday, behind the paywall, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock games. Great show. Really enjoy it. Really enjoy watching Johnny chug 12 beers, 6 shots, and then roll a blunt.
That's my guy.
I mean, it's pretty entertaining.
Dude,
like he's right up there.
I told him I needed him to be blind. So drunk he was blind. And
Why?
he got so drunk that the poor kid didn't even make the co-main event or the main event.
Why'd you do that?
Because I felt like in order for me to harness my chi, my inner chi, I needed him to just be gonzo gone, to bring that positive energy, because he starts bringing that energy. And hey, you know what happened on Saturday night, Holden? I made 10 units. So
okay. What's the bald head going to bring us? How many units? 20.
This I don't know.
I need 20.
This I don't. My daughter's begging me to shave my mustache.
Why don't you do it?
Because I can't. I've made.
Hold on, you're complaining you've only made 200 units. Why don't you shave it?
Yeah, but the last 3 months I made like 120 units with this mustache. It's not going anywhere now.
So listen, beginning of the show, guy says he's horrible. Then now,
I never said I was horrible.
You're like, I just can't win anything. I can't do it. I
hold myself to a very high standard.
I know.
So the last 2 weeks, I have not been happy with. Yeah, I mean, what do you want me to say? That's just what it is. I have to be honest.
Jabroni Clyde, should the Vikings keep Sam Darnold on a
yes.
Yes.
They have to. They have to. They have no choice now.
Yep. You gots to. So Thursday night football. Rams +3 at the Niners. We don't know if Garendo is going to play or not. Patrick Taylor, if he plays, fine. Kyron is set up for a nice night. I immediately went into the chat this week and I was like, dude, what about Jennings? What about Juwan Jennings? Because I love Juwan Jennings. And Purdy tears up zones, and that's what we're going to see a lot of. Not 100%, but we're going to see a lot of zone from the Rams. That's just how they do it. Jennings has played 6 games without Ayuk and with either Ayuk or Samuel in the game. He's got 33% of the team targets. Like, he's the number one. He is the number one. The Rams have allowed 9 yards per target, and they are 31st in touchdown rate to wide receivers. I think Jennings is in for a big day. And then the stat of the day, Keg, the stat of the day. Puka Nacua has played in 26 career games. I don't know if you saw me post this. How many 100-yard games does Puka have in his 26-game career? Take a guess.
18.
12. 18?
I thought you were going to say 22 of 26.
No, that's insane. But 12 of 26 pretty good. Yeah, and he has 5 of 150 plus.
Bro, he's a freak.
He's the man.
He's unguardable.
He is. The catches he's making too with these toe taps.
He will be as good as JJ and Jamar Chase, without a doubt. But what do you mean? Whoa! Look at what he's done. He's a freak.
He is a freak. I mean, we're talking about the 2 best guys there.
I mean, you're telling me right now that when that kid's healthy, he's not a top 8 guy right now in his second year?
He's definitely a top 8 guy, yeah.
He might 100%. Be a top 5 guy in his second year in the league.
All right. Nico the Freako, Jefferson Chase,
AJ Brown. And him. I mean,
I think Brown is like physically a top 5 guy, but they just haven't been getting the ball. You know? He's not putting up those numbers, but fine.
Yeah, but he is a top 5 guy.
Okay.
But like, I mean, it's hard. The top 10's hard. Like DK Metcalf. All I'm saying is like the difference between the production when that kid is healthy to somebody like Jamar Chase is not going to be that far off.
So CeeDee Lamb. So here's the receiving yard leaders this year. Okay, Chase 1, Jefferson 2, Lamb 3. Jerry Jeudy is 4.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers is 5. JSN is 6. We gotta go back to JSN, don't we?
Bowers is such a stud. I will bet the kid has paid me out 9 weeks in a row. I think I will bet him every week until he stops paying me out. Yeah,
let's do it. He's at 66.5 at DK. He's at 66.5 at MGM. He's already bet up 2 yards.
So I'm interested to know the status of Greenlaw and Bosa for tomorrow night, because that should go a long way to letting me know who I want to get on for the Rams. The game opened 3, got bet down to 2.5, and now we're back up to 3. 3 feels a little aggressive. I was waiting all year for San Fran to have a game where they looked like a real football team. And it finally came last week against the Bears. They had over 450 yards of offense in that game against a defense that a lot of the industry respects. I'm not one of those people. The Bears front 7, I think, is average at absolute best. And that supposed top 5 secondary got roasted for 325 yards when the only 2 real targets they were throwing to was Kittle and Juwan Jennings. So, San Fran has got nothing out of Debo this season at all. It continued last week. He went 2 for 20. He's dead. He might as well not even be on the team. So I would be looking towards Jennings, Kittle, and Garendo if he goes. On the flip side of the ball, it's legitimately Kyron to the moon if Greenlaw and Bosa don't play. If they both go, I'm off them. But if one of the 2 plays and Bosa's not there, there's a good shot I'm on Kyron Williams 90, 100, and 110. I think the game, I agree with you. I think the game sets up very well for him. I was talking about it with Meyer the other night. Right now, it's a wait and see. If they play, this line at 2.5 would feel right to me. At 3 feels like a bit much. If they don't go, this line, I don't know. I'll probably just avoid the side altogether, to be honest. The total's taking some money. That should continue. If I had to guess, this probably closes around 50.5. At 49.5, slight lean to the over, but not enough to bet it. Slight lean to the Rams right now at +3. But I want to see if Bosa, Greenlaw, Garendo go. One thing I know for sure, Puka's a freak. If they can't get pressure on Stafford, he will nuke that secondary. So Greenlaw and Bosa means a lot this week. Rams offense was fantastic last week in that win against the Bills, but the defense was awful. The secondary was barbecue chicken for 4 quarters. They never had a shot. Granted, they were playing the MVP of the league, but that's besides the point. It's not going to get any easier this week. So we've already bet a couple player props in this game. I would assume we got phenomenal numbers. We probably beat the close by 6 or 7 yards, if I had to guess. The last thing I'll say is that the team total for the Niners feels a little low in this spot at home. I have not hit the button yet. Aside from that, I will be waiting on the injury news.
I wish we were talking about Sunday night. We're just not. I want to know your thoughts on the JSN number. And
I'm betting in Jigba. I can tell you that. I don't have
blind.
I don't. Oh yeah.
All right, then let's bet it right now.
He paid us out 8 weeks in a row, 9 weeks in a row. I mean, it's crazy.
Then I'm betting him right now at 65.5. The only thing is
until he stops.
That Packers pass defense pretty decent.
Yeah, they are, but I still think that kid is so wiry underneath. Mm-hmm. That's where he gets all his yards, man. All his yards are underneath, and then he just explodes. Like, I think it's going to be a tough day for DK Metcalf. I think it's going to be a little bit easier of a day for Njigba.
All right. Well, I'm betting it then.
Just because of the scheme.
Okay. 65.5, just about everywhere.
Yeah, I'm going to bet that too. 65.5.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I got on unabated, but I'm just trying to check even more books. But that's a bet. Let's give that out as our best bet today. How's that sound?
There you go.
Jackson Smith and Jigba for it's minus 115. So 65.5 minus 15. JSN. That'll be our best bet. We don't even talk about Sunday Night Football, and we don't. It's interesting. We don't ladder him though. That's kind of crazy to me.
We have. We've hit 80, 90. We've hit 80, 90, 100 this year.
Wow.
I mean, the line doesn't make sense when you look at what this kid's done. How is his number not 74.5 right now? How is it 65? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm with you. I'll just keep shopping around. But again, 65.5 is the number. It opened at 64.5 at MGM, went up a yard, and then same thing over at DK. What's so funny?
Might I suggest a monocle instead of the glasses? What's with the haircut? Did Keg get crabs and misunderstand his hot dog?
Oh, that is not nice.
Keg's got to go to his daughter's athletic banquet tonight, and when he cleans up well. So,
what are you gonna wear?
Come on, man.
No, tell me.
I'm gonna wear a suit. What do you mean? What am I gonna wear?
Whoa! Can you take a selfie, like a picture? Can I
Probably
see
not.
you in a suit?
For you? Maybe.
I love you, Keg.
All right, let's get out of here. I got to go.
Yeah, so let's just go. That's it. NBA, NHL show tonight. That's going to be at 7 o'clock Eastern time. I'm not even playing the music.